welcome. While traveling for work, we came across a gas station that was next to a cotton field that they were harvesting. And if you've ever been around a cotton field while they're harvesting, you know, it blows everywhere on the roads, in the median, this, that, and the other. So while we were at that gas station, my fiance asked if I'd pick some up. And while I was picking up, you know, the pieces of cotton, the guys who were harvesting the field called me over there, and I thought they was gonna get on to me. But instead, they gave me a bunch of cotton, kind of like this, and I ended up putting it in some, you know, gallon Ziploc bags. And I've always wanted to make cordage out of cotton. I've done it with yucca plants and vines, this, that, and the other, but never with cotton. And I know it can be done because they've made cotton, you know, fabric for hundreds of years. But I'm gonna do this kind of bushcraft style, if you will. I'm not gonna use any kind of spinning wheels, carders, or anything like that. I'm just gonna use my two hands, the cotton, and a bit of wood. And so here's one of the bags of cotton we were able to pick. As you can see, it's still got the stems and still on the bowl, if you will. So the first thing I'm going to do is separate the cotton from the bowls. And if you have tender hands, you may want to wear gloves to do this, because the bowls, or where the bowl of cotton connects to the plant itself, these spines are real sharp and they will cut you. And as I go along, I'm going to try to pick out as many of these little bits that I can. I believe that's going to be enough to get me started anyway. All right, so the next step is to get the seeds out of this. And the seeds in this cotton are actually viable, so if you wanted to kind of grow your own cotton, you could. And the easiest way is just to take and go through and feel for them and pick them out. Here's what the cotton seeds actually look like. I don't know how many number of seeds to a bowl of cotton. It's quite a few from what I can feel. And as you're doing this, you'll notice this cotton is actually pretty tough as far as the fibers go when you're pulling these seeds out. So there's how many seeds were in that one bowl of cotton. All right, I don't have a carder to card the cotton to get all the fibers going in one direction. So what I'm doing is just spreading it apart, trying to get rid of any clumps that are in there. And then I'm laying it down, and then I'll take and roll it all up. All right, now I'm going to take and fold this in half. And then I'm going to take and kind of lightly roll it up. And this gives me my starting end for making my twine. I've got my cotton ready for spinning. Now I need to make my spindle, and I could just go to the hardware store and buy like a 1/2-inch dowel and go that route and just buy everything, but I've got all this fresh cut red oak and the grain on it's real straight, so I think I'm going to split off a piece that's about a 1/2 inch in diameter and whittle my drop spindle out of that. So you can still see it's wet inside. So this is my piece I'm going to turn into my spindle, and as you can see, it's narrow on one end and thick at the other, which will give me the taper that I want. All right, to finish off my drop spindle, I got another piece of oak and bored a hole through it. That'll act as my counterweight to give me some centrifugal force. I'm going to use these leather tongs to tie them together around the spindle. And for my drop spindle hook, I'm going to use a finishing nail. All right, so here's my now finished drop spindle, and it took me about 10 minutes to make, so hopefully it's not going to be too heavy. So let's see how this is going to work. And it is. So I'm going to take my drop spindle's too heavy, so I'm going to take these weights off. Finally getting something going here. And I'm sure I'm not doing this right, but this is my first time trying it. Because like I said, I just want to see if I can actually make cordage out of cotton. I know they can be done. They've been doing it for, you know, hundreds of years. So a couple of wraps right there. Here, try it again. Keep getting these little dingleberries in there. All right, well, I'm actually getting it done a little bit now. You watch, I'm going to say that and it's going to break again. But like I said, the key to it, I think, is keeping tension on it while you're doing it. Seems to be working pretty good. It's not making the prettiest yarn so far. All right, so I'm gonna keep plugging away at it. That's about where I'm at right now. All right, so here's my now spun cotton fibers, and by themselves, just this single strand has a fair amount of structural integrity to it. But what I'm gonna do is take 2 strands of this and Flemish twist them together. So I've got about 3 feet of this done, and my goal is to do 6. Now I need to add some more to the end of this. And I found that adding this in sections seems to work best rather than trying to do both of them at the same time. Here's my 6 feet of cotton cordage, and this is actually 2 spun strands Flemish twisted together. And I'm going to see how strong it is, and I'm going to start off by using half a brick. I've attached the cordage to a wooden dowel, and I'm going to thread it through the hole in the brick, see if it'll lift it up. Well, that seems to be holding. All right, so there's the full 6 feet of the cordage, and it's holding up the half a brick. Now I'm going to try a full brick. And it broke immediately. All right, I retied it. I'm going to try it again. Now I'm going to double it up and see if it'll lift it. All right, so I doubled it up, kind of twisted it together. Try it again. And that actually works. The cotton cordage actually worked. It lifted the 5-pound brick once I doubled it up. And spinning the cotton was fairly easy once I got a technique down to it, but twisting it into the cordage was rather time consuming. It took me like 2.5 hours to twist that into that 6-foot length of cordage. And in order for it to be a utilitarian type cordage, you'd really have to double it up like in multiples of 2. Now just that 2-strand that I did would probably work for, securing something to a backpack or something along that line. But at least I learned a new skill out of it, or a new way to make cordage out of cotton, which is, rather abundant here in Alabama. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time.